There's a pattern unfolding that is rewriting our economy, our jobs, and the very definition of intelligence. And right now in 2025, we are deep inside this pattern, stage by stage, decision by decision, almost like we're reading from a script that leads to a complete technological revolution. This isn't a story about empires falling over centuries. This is about a global transformation happening in a single decade. We're not talking about a distant future. We are entering stage 3 of a 5-stage AI takeover. We're not approaching the pattern, we're deep inside it. This is the story of how an industry was born, why everyone is racing to control it, and why the math says the world as we know it is about to change forever. It began with a spark. In late 2022, the world was introduced to ChatGPT. It reached 1 million users in just 5 days, then 100 million by January 2023. This wasn't just a new app, it was the fastest product adoption in human history. The world took notice, and the money followed. Microsoft, seeing the future, invested a staggering $10 billion into OpenAI, securing a 27% stake and exclusive IP rights through 2032. The race was on. Google, caught off guard, rushed out its competitor, Bard, which famously gave wrong answers in its own demo, wiping 9% off the company's stock. Soon after, a third major player, Anthropic, launched its model, Claude, solidifying the battle lines. By the end of 2023, the scale of this new economy was becoming clear. OpenAI's revenue, a modest $200 million at the start of the year, was just the beginning. The global AI market was already valued at $196 billion. But the real tell was the company building the shovels for this gold rush. Nvidia, its data center revenue exploded to $47 billion, a 217% increase in a single year. By the end of this first stage, 55% of companies worldwide were already using AI in some form. The spark had ignited a fire. Then came stage 2, the enterprise takeover. This was the moment AI moved from a public curiosity to a corporate necessity. In November 2023, Microsoft unleashed its secret weapon, Copilot for Microsoft 365. It wasn't just an integration, it was an infiltration. Within months, 150 million people were using Copilot. An astonishing 90% of Fortune 500 companies had deployed it in less than a year. The competition scrambled to keep up. Google's Gemini reached 450 million monthly active users, a 370% year-over-year surge, with nearly half of all U.S. enterprises embedding it into their workflows. The numbers became astronomical. ChatGPT's user base grew to 800 million weekly active users, generating 2.5 billion prompts every single day. This tidal wave of adoption sent OpenAI's revenue rocketing from $200 million to $13 billion by mid-2025, a 65x increase in under 3 years. The AI invasion was complete. 78% of companies globally were now using AI enterprise. AI spending hit $200 billion. The financial markets reflected this new reality. Nvidia became the first company to hit a $5 trillion market cap. OpenAI's private valuation soared to $500 billion, making it the most valuable private company on Earth. That $10 billion bet Microsoft made, it was now worth $135 billion just 2 years later. And that brings us to where we are right now. Stage 3. The era of autonomous workers. The assistants are being replaced by agents. We're no longer just asking AI for help. We are giving it tasks to complete on its own. 90% of enterprises are now deploying autonomous AI agents that operate 24/7 without needing human approval. Industries like HR, sales, and finance are adopting them at a breakneck pace to handle high-volume, repetitive work. A typical AI-first company now has 3 to 4 autonomous agents working alongside every 10 human employees, slashing hiring and onboarding costs by 40%. The technology is accelerating. OpenAI released Operator, an AI that can browse the web and execute tasks autonomously. Anthropic's Claude achieved a 61% success rate on real-world computer tasks, demonstrating it can use a computer just like a human, clicking, typing, and navigating. Google's Gemini 2.0 now natively calls APIs, searches databases, and sends emails without human intervention. This shift is remaking the job market in real time. Projections show 92 million jobs will be displaced by 2030, but 170 million new roles will emerge, creating a net gain. The catch: those new jobs require AI skills that 75% of the current workforce doesn't have. For those who do, the rewards are immense. Workers using AI report a 66% productivity increase and command a 56% wage premium, a number that has more than doubled in just 1 year. We are just now entering the next phase. Stage 4, the Aggie race. This is the sprint to build a machine that can think, reason, and learn like a human. In 2020, experts predicted artificial general intelligence was 50 years away. Today, they say 5. The consensus forecast gives a 25% chance of Aggie by 2027 and a 50% chance by 2031. The people building it are even more bullish. Google's Sergey Brin sees Aggie arriving just before 2030. DeepMind's Demis Hassabis predicts just after 2030, the benchmarks are shattering previous records. OpenAI's new model, O1, is achieving PhD-level performance in mathematics and competing with elite human programmers. This leads us to the final stage, the great unknown, Stage 5, the singularity. This is the moment, projected for 2030 and beyond, when AI doesn't just match human intelligence, it surpasses it. Once AGI is achieved, the leap to superintelligence could happen in months, not years. Through a process of recursive self-improvement, human intelligence evolved over millions of years. AI is evolving in 3-year cycles. The money pouring in signals this inevitability. In 2025, AI startups raised nearly $200 billion, accounting for over half of all global venture capital for the first time in history. The impact is already being felt everywhere. 66% of physicians now use AI in their work. At the Cleveland Clinic, an AI sepsis detection model has produced 10 times fewer false alerts, while increasing detection rates by 46%. But as the technology accelerates, the human talent to manage it is falling behind, with a demand-to-supply ratio of over 3-to-1 for AI experts. Stage 5 is the theoretical point where progress becomes explosive, uncontrollable, and irreversible. It is the moment the script writes itself. Let's recap the timeline. Stage 1, the spark, is complete. Stage 2, the enterprise takeover, is complete. Stage 3, the rise of autonomous workers, is happening right now. We are on the verge of entering Stage 4, the race to build God. The script is writing itself with numbers too big to ignore and timelines too short to dismiss. We're not watching a sci-fi movie, we're living in one, and we're in Act 3.